This is USVI News, your Virgin Islands connection.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us for USVI News. I'm Haley Potter. We begin with more on a story we first brought you Wednesday about that protest by VI correctional officers from the Bureau of Corrections. They're taking a stand to long-standing issues within the BOC, some going back almost 9 years. The biggest issue is simple. They're not getting paid properly. Today, our USVI News' Ali Bornvanak caught up with the director of the Bureau of Corrections to find out what they're doing to help the correctional officers' concerns.
We respect the rights of the correctional officer to exercise their First Amendment rights to protest over issues that they feel, of concern. However, know that this administration is working diligently to correct those issues. Some of the issues that brought forward is the issues were about 9 or 8 years old grievance that since I came into this position, we have been working vigorously to correct the wrong that has been done. When I came into this position, a lot of grievances we have been trying to rectify. Why wasn't it taken care of? I don't know. But one of my responsibilities is to ensure that our officers are taken care of. The staff that works for Bureau of Correction, they come in, they do what they have to do. They are the ones that take care of the individuals that are arrested. The police officers arrest them for a few, and then we take care of them until they come back out. So they're the mother, the father, the counselors, the chaplains, their auntie, uncle, everybody to these individuals that's entrusted in our care. So I am very proud of the work that they do, and it's a thankless job, but I appreciate them. The Bryan administration appreciate them and thank them every day.
And as things move forward with the BOC, it's also National Correctional Officers and Employees Appreciation Week. On Thursday, several correctional officers and some who are retired were recognized at the Alexander Farelli Justice Complex for their hard work and dedication to the VI Bureau of Corrections. Awards and tokens of appreciation were shared amongst the group.
Those who work in our profession know how hard we work to foster a positive, innovative and creative work environment, and this week we honor all those who work in the corrections field. We thank you for your professionalism, dedication and courage you demonstrate every day.
$61 million in federal tax dollars is coming to the VI to help restore housing communities. The Office of Disaster Recovery announced the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, has obligated $61 million to the Virgin Islands Housing Authority to continue its renovation of housing communities devastated during the 2017 hurricanes. The tens of millions in funding is earmarked for 11 projects, 9 on St. Croix and 2 on St. Thomas, both inside and outside Estate Bovoni. And the 2-2 high-rise you see here were severely damaged from heavy rains, high winds, and flying debris from Hurricanes Irma and Maria. The funding will help support work that's already begun. Nearly $40 million is earmarked for the Housing Authority's office and adjacent warehouses, like Kings Hill Warehouse, which, as you can see, is still pretty badly damaged. The VI Housing Authority says it's thankful for the funds from FEMA and also for the patience of its residents while making these major repairs. Part of the $61 million will also go towards St. Croix's Walter Hodge Pavilion Revitalization Project, the rehabilitation of 250 units. Construction should start on that project here in October. They hope to rebuild all of the properties, making them able to better withstand hurricanes and jumpstart the reconstruction of our housing communities to improve the quality of life for its residents. America could be through the worst of the pandemic by July, but only if we all get vaccinated and continue to practice mitigation measures when needed. That's what a new CDC modeling study suggests. The potential course of the pandemic in the U.S. based on 4 scenarios of vaccination rates and mitigation strategies was examined in this study. The models all projected that cases would continue to rise in April and peak in May before starting to decline in July. But the decline was even faster if vaccination rates are high and people continue to comply with the prevention measures. The study authors wrote that high vaccination coverage and compliance with the mitigation strategies are essential to control COVID-19. VI Governor Bryan Jr. wants to extend the territory's state of emergency. He sent a proposed legislation to the Senate requesting a 60-day extension to the current state of emergency he proclaimed back in March at the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. The current state of emergency extension is set to expire this Friday, May 7th, so Governor Bryan is requesting an extension to remain in effect until July 6th. By law, the 34th legislature has 5 days to consider Bryan's request, or the extension automatically goes into effect for an additional 30 days if the Senate takes no action on the governor's proposed legislation. Meantime, Governor Bryan reaches out to the federal government asking how we can help with the devastating COVID-19 crisis over in India. He sent a letter to President Biden asking how the USVI can assist the U.S. in efforts to India. The governors pledging the USVI's assistance in the U.S. government's efforts to help the people of India who are suffering through an extreme surge of the virus that's resulted in more than 20 million cases and inundated the Indian healthcare system, creating a severe shortage of oxygen and other critical supplies. In his letter, Bryan highlights India's historic ties to the territory and India's local influence in developing and growing the VI. He wrote to President Biden, quote, "Please let me know how the Virgin Islands can help." The CDC is letting cruise lines run trial voyages with volunteer passengers. It's a step toward allowing them to resume normal operations in U.S. waters. The simulated voyages must have a capacity of 10% or more. Participants have to be vaccinated or get a doctor's note saying they're not in the high-risk category for COVID-19. The CDC is also providing cruise lines with health procedures. This, of course, is great news for the Virgin Islands as it marks a start to cruise travel again, which is critical to our economy.
This is the first glimmer of light that we've seen to allow us to move forward and work out the final steps to be able to set sail.
Nearly 60% of all cruising originates from U.S. ports, and nearly half of the people who are cruising are Americans.
It's been 14 months that this industry has been shut down. 14 million passengers, American passengers per year, have not had a chance to sail. The economic impact is massive.
Cruise travel may be able to resume cruises in U.S. waters by this coming July. The CDC is telling the cruise industry it's committed to the resumption of passenger operations by midsummer. The CDC says it's 98% of a ship's crew and 95% of passengers are all fully vaccinated. Then that means the ship can set sail.